Hi there, this is going to be rather interesting. What you're looking at is Retro Pop Box 1980s. Now, this is a fairly new subscription series which gives you retro items each month in a box, and there are three particular series of retro pop boxes that you can sign up for. I believe it's 1960s, 1970s, and 1980s. I've gone here for 1980s as a child of the 1980s. It's a very stylish and well-designed box. Now, I haven't mentioned the month. I'm going to assume this is the January 2016 box. However, I did originally put my order in back in, I think it was early November, and for some reason it just went missing on the system, even though my card was charged. So I did get in contact with the customer service, and to their credit, they've shipped me a box out, but it wasn't clear if they've shipped me the November box or the January box. Obviously I hope it's a January box, I'm up to date, but we'll probably find out as we go inside. I didn't get any notice of shipping either, presumably because this was an extra item, so it was a surprise when this arrived, but a very welcome one, because you always wonder if an item's gone missing, if you're ever going to see sign of it or not, and this one I certainly have. So I think things to say, this is a heavy box, but it's also really small, probably about 2/3 the size of the typical boxes, say from the Nerd Block type box. Anyway, I've just cut through the seals, so let's have a look inside. Retro Pop Box 80s, unboxed by geeksubscriptionbox.com. And straight away, a present from your past, share the love. Well, I certainly do. Plenty of publicity for these boxes on my YouTube channel and elsewhere. But let's start off with, well, presumably David Bowie must have been slipped into the box depending on the time that this one was sent out. So must be presumably an in-house sticker. Looks very nice there. Yeah, of course, sad demise there of David Bowie. And oh, the rest of it is wrapped up, and there's an information card at the bottom. We can find out more. So this one, very nicely done to the max. A bit of yellow tissue wrapping paper, and we've got a t-shirt here. It says exclusive design, so probably this will be an exclusive. And Rocky 3, I Predict Pain. So, well, one of the more memorable of Rocky series. This was probably early to mid-80s, trying to remember when this was released there. But oh yeah, very nice, very retro style t-shirt. Actually quite happy with that one, works quite well. I'll unfold it properly for the review so you can see it. Moving straight on to some DC Comics Heroes magnets. Now I didn't get these. I got some bad news in another box recently, which were quite similar, but perhaps were logos. But this is obviously part of the same series because it's the same background, same header at the top, etc. as that. But they do look quite nice magnets. It's just a pity that my fridge has got a piece of wood in front of it built into the cupboard, so I can't easily put magnets up. I'll have to get some kind of magnetic board to go on them. But yeah, very nice. Presumably these date back to the 80s, but I guess you could pick any era, so for that one. What have we got next? We've got a Retro Pop Box fun fact there. To do with the Love Boat in the 1970s and 1980s. I'm not going to read the fact out. I know it won't show very well in there. The Love Boat, Welcome Aboard. It's actually a series that I have never watched because it wasn't one that was big in the UK, so I sort of put that aside, but it looks a bit like a packing case. Teeny Tins lunch boxes. So, and it's got, yeah. Again, I wouldn't necessarily think of it as an 80s show, probably think of it more of a 70s show, but what did it tell us about? Made in 2015. I'm going to presume, I'm just shaking it to try not to shake the camera so much, because I know how much that annoys everyone, that, well, it is a lunchbox style tin, presumably to put things in. Interesting, quite different anyway. I'll say I do like the 70s as well, so I guess I'm quite happy with that overlap. Moving on to another show that I think of as the 70s as well. And this is the thing that gives all the weight. Battlestar Galactica. 35th anniversary. So it's now 2016, so that would date it to 1981. I never really followed the original series, or I always mean to. I think I've got one of the film version, or possibly some of the early episodes on DVD or Blu-ray waiting to be watched. Slightly damaged box, unfortunately, but it does say tin coasters, which is quite good. I'm going to guess they look like those. I think that was original Cylon. Yeah, where it says, gives a bit of a clue in the title there. In their helmets. Yeah, they look nice. Again, one of the better sets of coasters. I'm going to try and open it, seeing as it's already been damaged and plastic wrapped in there. And oh, pretty big. That's maybe twice the size of a traditional coaster, and obviously differently shaped there. But yeah, they're nice. I just suddenly look at these and have the vision there could be some Cyberman coasters of a similar type from Doctor Who, or even Daleks actually, with the top there, very similar shape. But they're nice feel to them. They will wipe clean well, very usable as coasters go. Let me just move those to one side. And yeah, so it'll be interesting just to have to work out what year Battlestar Galactica did start. Possibly it was the early 80s, or maybe it finished in the early 80s, which I guess qualifies. And back to basics. It's another sticker. I presume this is the original sticker before the additional David Bowie one. We'll put that there. A nice joystick there. I had plenty of those in the 80s. Remember, all the games were some kind of sport, normally some kind of racing sport, and you had to wiggle the joystick as fast as you could to make your character move, and they were never good for the longevity of joysticks. Move that nice bit to one side. So what's in the 1980s retro pop box? And yes, it is January 2016, just to answer the question. We've got the Rocky 3 exclusive t-shirt. So very nice t-shirt there. Happy with that one. I do like these retro type items. So actually very happy with this box so far. We've got the Love Boat Teeny Tin. So this is designed to look like lunch boxes you carried as a kid. But this mini carrying case is great for small pens, pencils, erasers, mints, snacks, you name it. Well, I did carry lunch boxes, although the UK ones were typically made of plastic. I'm going to guess this is tin. You may just be able to hear that. But again, it looks very similar, and they certainly had that handle at the top that you can just about make out there. The Battlestar Galactica Cylon coasters, very nice coasters they are too, as coasters go. The DC Comics Heroes magnet set. Oh, so according to that, these are meant to reflect Saturday morning cartoon series from the 80s. So UK television was slightly different. We tended to have things like this on in an afternoon after school, and more magazine style programs on a Saturday morning with the odd cartoon. I don't particularly remember the DC ones ever being big over here, but certainly I know these from comic books. And the joystick sticker to go with it. One button and one directional stick. It truly was simpler. And let's look at the other side, incidentally, of here. The mini art, ready to frame. Yeah, I can't imagine framing it, but there you go. So let's sum up then. So this is Retro Pop Box, January 2016. This is the 80s line. There's also 70s and 60s. I think I will give them a try. They've redeemed themselves despite the shipping difficulties originally. Then I do like the items. I think a couple of them are questionable whether they quite relate to the era, but this works as being both geek fandom based and being tied to interesting eras. So very happy with this. Hope you found this one interesting. I hope that Retro Pop Box goes on and runs and runs. Do check out the full review, which will be up on geeksubscriptionbox.com, and do watch the other unboxing videos, read the other reviews, and leave your comments. Thanks for joining me.